Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Our once thriving mining village is now a wasteland. It's a hellhole, and everyone's on benefits. Residents have been left heartbroken after their once thriving mining village turned into a barren wasteland. Locals have blamed the closure of the pit for the loss of community spirit and lack of amenities. Rhondda Valley, South Wales, used to be a bustling area which saw generations of miners pass through the home of coal. Many joined the colliery as teenagers, hoping to continue their work until retirement. But when both Merdy Colliery and Tower Colliery closed some 17 years ago, the area took a shocking turn for the worst. Locals have now spoken out about how the very end of the Rhondda Fatch Valley has been left, neglected, with little future for the children growing up there. As Merdy Mountain overlooks the former mining village, some have described a place which has lost its purpose. Whilst a few have described the hardy remainers, others have painted a picture of a community that no longer feels as safe as it once was. Pensioner Tony Evans told Wales Online how life has shifted immensely after the closure of high street stores. These include the Chubb Factory, Ferndale Book Company, Porter's Paint, the local bank, and the Miners' Colliery. The retired printer described how life there has changed immeasurably. He has also been left worried for his grandchildren, adding, "When I was growing up, we'd walk the mountain and we'd be happy. Now it's a harsher world for kids. It doesn't seem as safe." There are a lot of people struggling around here, a lot of people with depression too, unemployed people and people struggling health-wise. A 63-year-old also told the local media how the colliery acted as the heart of the area when it was open. They spoke of how it meant everyone knew everyone with the area, feeling so safe people could leave their doors unlocked without fear. But with a number of store closures, many are having to drive further afield to access pubs, clubs, and shops. Others have taken to social media, with a number of local community groups set up to help residents communicate with one another. Many of the posts shared include pictures of the stunning scenery located nearby. Some have shared the achievements of locals, including a nearby primary school which helped clean up some of the area. Parents have also boasted about the area's lovely parks and good schools. Despite the benefits to some, the borough of Rhondda Cynon Taff has seen former coalfield communities disproportionately affected by the cost of living crisis. Across Wales, more than 700,000 live in relative poverty. In Rhondda Cynon Taff, the unemployment rate was last noted as being over 30%, according to data from the Office for National Statistics. Over 3% in the area were claiming unemployment-related benefits at the time of the census. Dion Thompson, 25, who grew up in Merdy where his grandfathers also worked down the pit, says all his friends have left the village. He said, "Merdy actually hasn't changed from when I was a kid. There's nothing around here except for an Avon engineered rubber factory up the road. There's no work. Everyone around here that I know moved away when they were old enough. It was a really tight-knit community. When I was a kid it was like that. Now it's barren. Nothing ever gets done around here to change things. There's no investment." Dion works in demolition, and as soon as he reached working age, was told by his parents he had to look outside Merdy for work. "It's the same for my boy," says 53-year-old Beverly Viscount, who works in the spar. "My son went off to university at Aberystwyth, and he's come back and he couldn't find a job around here. He worked hard at uni, but he ended up having to work for Amazon." Beverly, who has lived in the village all her life, says she wouldn't leave even if she won the lottery, but adds there is nothing keeping young people here. She remembers a childhood where she had lots of aunties and uncles and could turn to anyone for help. "You get children hanging around here now in gangs and terrorizing people." More than 19% of the county falls within 10% of Wales, most deprived areas, and Merdy comes out right at the top in the deprivation figures. The ward, which covers the south of Merdy, ranks in the bottom 2% for employment in the whole of Wales. It's also in the bottom 2.5% in Wales for income and health, and is in the top 3% most deprived places in the country. It ranks as third lowest in the borough, out of 154 areas for employment, fifth lowest for income, and sixth lowest for health. It is a picture mirrored across the region. While in Wales as a whole, 31% of children are now living in poverty, as well as 16% of pensioners, according to the Bevan Foundation. Amy Adamike is making the 22-mile trip south to Cardiff, which she routinely makes at the weekends. When it comes to things to do, there's nothing, she explains. That's why I'm heading to Cardiff now. If you want to do something, especially at the weekend, you have to leave. Amy, 24, who works in investments in Pontypridd a short drive away, adds, "It's still a proud community. There are lots of very kind people here, but it's been let down." Landlady of 22 years, Adele Wilk, insists the pub does get busier on an evening. "We used to be really busy with the miners," Adele, 54, explains. "A lot of them have passed away now though, of course. 22 years ago, you'd have had the Meredy Hall and the social clubs were running a lot more hours. That's not the case anymore. I'm the only pub this side of the Rhondda open 7 days a week in the day now." It wasn't just the miners who lost work when the colliery closed at Meredy. So did Adele's father, who was an electrician who worked at the colliery. "He lost a lot of work when the pits went, definitely," she says. "But the community pulled together, and it still pulls together. It is a very good community here. People do care for each other an awful lot." By Jacob Jaffa. This is the ghost town center with a road to nowhere, leading to shops that were never built. Residents of Talbot Green, Wales, say that what was meant to be a bustling new urban hub remains a wasteland after years of delays. The road was meant to lead to a supermarket, cinema, and hotel complex to accommodate the rapidly growing population in the town, but it is still unfinished more than a decade later. The development was proposed in 2011, plans were approved by the local council, and the road, complete with a roundabout, was built to service the town. But after that, nothing happened until diggers were seen on the site in the last few weeks. Shopper Val Lewis, 58, fumed, "What a waste of money to build a road that goes nowhere, there's even a bus stop on it. It just adds insult to injury every time you drive past." Locals are hoping that work is beginning for the promised SQFT Sainsbury's store, which is expected to create at least 150 jobs and act as an anchor tenant for the development. Patrick Dunn, property director for the supermarket giant, said that the company is pleased to be taking the final steps in our long-standing plans to deliver a new supermarket for Talbot Green. A spokesperson, Scarborough Group, which is overseeing the site in a joint venture with Talbot Green Developments Limited, said that they were reviewing our options and could not commit to the existing plans. They explained, "We are currently reviewing our options for the wider Talbot Green Town Center site to ensure that the proposed master plan comprises the right mix of uses that respond to the needs and wants of the local community." Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Rhondda Cynon Taff Council said, "The council's planning committee initially granted permission for a new supermarket on land at Talbot Green. Works to implement this latest permission must start by August 2023 to comply with the planning consent." The council has recently been advised by Sainsbury's that it intends to start works in compliance with that requirement.